One Piece Manga Chapter 1138 titled Harley. In this chapter, Luffy finally hears about Shamrock from the guards at Ouest Castle. We also see what happened to Loki after Junko's attack and learn more about Shamrock's true relationship with Shanks. And at last, the hidden contents of the Harley text are revealed, unveiling the true myth of Emu, the Sun God, and the history of the world of One Piece. So sit back, relax, and watch right to the end of the video. You won't want to miss a single second of this peak chapter. The cover page of the chapter is the 24th volume of the limited cover story, Oni Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage. In the previous volume of the limited cover story, Yamato and Otama sneaked into a secret base. They quietly peeked through an open window, their jaws dropping in shock when they spotted Who's Who's underlings wandering around inside. This volume continues with Who's Who laughing loudly at the heart of the base, grinning from ear to ear. He's wearing a traditional Wano outfit with his mask on. His subordinates are gathered around, all having a great time. Traditional Japanese music fills the room as a performer plays, while a lady serves drinks to the group. In the 22nd volume of the limited cover story, we assumed that this base belonged to Hold'em. But now it's clear that this hideout is Who's Who's after all. The chapter begins where we left off in chapter 1137. Loki gasps in pain, his whole body shaking as he stares at the ground. His wounds still feel as fresh as ever. As the God's Knights begin to leave, Loki suddenly calls out to Shamrock. His voice is unsteady as he points something out. Shamrock looks exactly like Shanks, and Loki refuses to believe it's just a coincidence. Shamrock turns to look at him, but before he can say anything, Junko snaps at Loki to shut up. This has nothing to do with him, but Loki can't help himself. His curiosity won't let him stay quiet. A great pirate and a celestial dragon are total opposites. Anyone would find it weird that Shamrock and Shanks look so much alike. Then, Shamrock finally speaks. His eyes are cold, and he shows no emotion as he reveals the truth. Shanks is his younger twin brother. He explains that Shanks once returned to the Holy Land, but he had already grown attached to the world of ordinary people. In the end, Shanks chose to stay away from the Holy Land of Mary Joie. Shanks returning to Mary Joie immediately catches Loki's attention, but instead of answers, he's only left with more frustration. His hatred for their family burns even stronger, and now he despises both twin brothers. Loki swears revenge. The moment he breaks free from these chains, they will pay for everything they have done. He shifts his gaze to the lifeless beasts of the realm of the dead. Junko's arrows remained buried in their backs, not a single one showing any sign of life. Watching his fallen friends, Loki swears to make it his mission to avenge them. Shamrock's eyes burn with irritation. Being threatened by Loki fuels his anger. Junko tries to tell him to ignore it, but it's already too late. Shamrock draws his sword, ready to put Loki in his place. Shamrock doesn't even need to dirty his hands doing it. He brings out his sword and summons the monstrous beast within his blade, Cerberus. We've seen time and time again how Oda-sensei draws inspiration from various cultures and backgrounds, and this time is no different. In Greek mythology, Cerberus is a three-headed dog that guards the gates of the underworld, making sure the dead don't escape. They're fierce watchdogs meant to keep out any mortals who dare to enter the underworld. The monster growls as it emerges from Shamrock's blade, and Loki's breathing turns rapid. Panic creeps in. In the next moment, a massive three-headed dog bursts forth from Shamrock's sword. Thick spiked collars wrap around its neck, and its sharp fangs gleam as it sticks out its tongue. Circling around Cerberus's neck are dark clouds shaped perfectly around their back. This beast is running wild, and their uncontained roars say it all. They're looking for their prey. Loki stutters in fear. His voice shakes as he struggles to understand what this creature is. One of Cerberus's heads locks eyes with him, sizing him up like prey. Then, a sword appears from its mouth. Loki watches in horror as Shamrock delivers the truth. Cerberus is his biting blade. Before Loki can react, swords emerge from the other two heads, each one engulfed in dark flames and pointing straight at him. His mind races, but there's no time to think. Cerberus lets out a terrifying growl, its collar spinning as its head detaches from its body. Staring into the beast's deadly glare, Loki stumbles back. Hey Nakama, imagine getting early access to the latest One Piece video chapter before anyone else, every single week. Or better yet, watching the whole thing in vibrant full color. If that sounds exciting, you can have it all by joining my YouTube channel membership for as little as $2 a month. And if you're all about full color chapters, then the First Mate membership is perfect for you. Your support means a lot, and it helps me keep making these videos for you. Thank you, Nakama. While Shamrock focuses on Loki and Cerberus, Junko creates a huge makeshift bird with her arrows. She then notifies Shamrock that they're ready to leave. Shamrock gives Cerberus a command. The beast barks softly before its three heads detach and soar into the sky. With another order, Cerberus's body dissolves into dark smoke and returns to Shamrock's blade. With Junko steering the bird, the two take off. As Junko controls the bird, Shamrock leaves Loki with a warning and a piece of advice. If he manages to survive his upcoming attack, he's free to come and hunt him down anytime. But Loki is speechless. His mind refuses to accept what he's seeing. Up above, Cerberus's head suddenly change course, diving straight for him. Their barks grow louder as they close in, their sharp swords shining in their mouths. Just the sight of those deadly blades is enough to make Loki panic. If they hit him, it could be all over. Loki can only curse at the celestial dragons, specifically Shamrock and Junko, as he awaits his fate. In the next moment, Cerberus's blades pierce straight through his gut. His screams echo through the air until his voice gives out. The attack is brutal, the wounds deep. Blood quickly spreads across his body. High above, Shamrock and Junko continue their flight. Recruiting Loki was a failure, which meant their mission just became even harder. But Shamrock already has a new plan. He wants to capture the Elbaf children as leverage so they can take control of Elbaf. For that, they need another extra companion. Junko asks who they should call. The scene shifts to the Ouest Castle. As Luffy and the others interview the guards, they hear something shocking. Bogey and his friend claim that Shanks was the one behind the attack. Luffy's voice rises in disbelief. He shouts at them, calling them liars. There's no way Shanks would attack them without a reason. He refuses to believe it. For those of you who may have forgotten, here's a quick refresher on the previous chapters. To find out if Loki really knows where Shanks is, Luffy, Zoro, Nami, and Road went to the Ouest Castle to search for the key to Loki's chains. However, while searching through the ruined castle, Luffy spots the injured guards and immediately tells Road and the others to check on them. Inside the castle, Bogey and the other guards still haven't fully recovered. Their bodies tremble as they recount what they saw to Luffy, Road, Zoro, and Nami. Bogey stands by his words. He has seen Shanks plenty of times during his visits to Elbaf, so there's no doubt in his mind. It was him. The other guard nods in agreement. They were just as shocked, unsure why Shanks would be in the castle. Zoro chimes in. As far as he knows, Shanks only arrived in Elbaf recently. It wouldn't be surprising if he was still around. But Luffy isn't buying it. He's certain that Shanks is way too cool to do something like this. Maybe the intruder just looks like him. Shanks is a chill and carefree guy. There's no way he would attack the castle guards. Even if Bogey and his friend truly believe what they saw, Luffy refuses to accept that it was actually Shanks.
Shanks! Tanomu!
Nami giggles. Seeing Luffy brimming with such confidence about Shanks, she can't help but find it amusing.
逃げるならお金置いてってよね
Luffy fumes and snaps at her.
この
Of course, he's defending Shanks. If someone talked badly about Belmere, he's sure Nami would do the same. Nami doesn't react much. She just points out that Luffy mispronounces Belmere's name and tries to correct him. Bogey starts to consider the possibility that the invader only looks like Shanks. The other guard wonders if it could be his brother. Luffy immediately assumes that if Shanks has a brother, he must be a great guy too. But then, a thought crosses his mind. He doesn't actually know anything about Shanks' family. All he knows is that Shanks grew up on a pirate ship. As Luffy continues talking about Shanks, the scene shifts outside the Ouest Castle. There, a familiar figure is seen approaching the castle gate. In case you didn't notice, this is the same mysterious figure who is wandering around in Elbaf on the final page of chapter 1132 of the manga. All we knew about him back then was that he had a Wano Kuni hat, spiky long hair, and wasn't a giant. Now we're finally getting a better look at him. His hat and outfit really remind me of the man seen drinking with Cronus on the cover of chapter 631. With him appearing just as Luffy is talking about the Roger Pirates, do you think this figure could really be Scopper Gaban, or is it still possible he's Shiki? As the figure moves closer, Luffy's thoughts about Shanks linger in his mind. He always believed that Shanks' real family was Roger, Rayleigh, and the entire Roger Pirates. Of course, he makes sure to point out that Buggy doesn't count. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to Frankie, who is touring the treasure tree Atom with Ripley. His loud laughter echoes as he takes in the sight. He always thought Atom wood was rare, but here, it's everywhere. Hearing that Atom wood is incredibly expensive outside of Elbaf, Ripley suddenly gets an idea. She giggles, wondering if she should start selling it herself. But Frankie immediately stops her. If anything, she should be the one keeping an eye on him, not the other way around. He knows Saul is especially strict about this. He recalls Saul warning him that the treasure tree Atom is sacred and must never be cut down. Frankie then jumps down from Ripley's grasp. He then spots the mural up ahead. Ripley explains it's just graffiti made by children from the ancient past. She believes some random children drew it, and it became fossilized over time. Now, it's designated as a cultural heritage site. As Frankie sprints toward the mural, Ripley reveals that it dates back about 900 to 800 years ago. But if that's correct, that means it was made during the Void Century. Frankie's eyes nearly pop out of his head. If that's true, then Robin will definitely want to see this. He can't wait to show it to her. But as he looks closer, he notices something strange. The figures in the drawings don't look like Elbaf's giants. Taking a closer look, he spots different figures. One appears to be the mermaid princess. Another looks like a massive iron robot. The third figure has long ears. As Frankie and Ripley admire the mural, Frankie is left speechless. Ripley, on the other hand, smiles warmly. She knows Elbaf has fought many wars with other races, but she's never heard of them working together. To her, these drawings might just be a child's dream. The scene briefly shifts to the Walrus School. The place is still buzzing with noise as the young Elbaf kids play around during their lessons. Anj supervises as the kids try to learn while others are just playing. The scene shifts to the Owl Library. Finally, Robin has discovered the existence of Harley. Inside the Owl Library, Saul carefully presents a massive, ancient religious book. He wipes away the thick layer of dust, but the sheer size of the book makes it impossible for Chopper not to inhale some. Saul introduces Harley to Robin and Chopper, explaining that it's a tome preserving many of Elbaf's myths and legends. However, the interpretations of these stories vary greatly among the people. As Robin and Chopper listen intently, the scene briefly shifts to the western village. Saul continues explaining that the warriors of Elbaf each follow different versions of the sun god's legend. Hadridan, Bragi, and Jarul are no exception. Though they hold different beliefs, they still enjoy the grand celebration, raising their mugs and grinning from ear to ear. Usopp and Brook are also caught up in the festivities. They're making the most of the peaceful moment. The scene shifts back to the Owl Library. Saul bursts into laughter as he grants Robin's request to read Harley. He flips through the massive pages, revealing that Harley's story is divided into 3 sections, each representing a different world. The third world, according to the text, is believed to be a prophecy of the present. Robin listens with a warm smile as Saul continues. He explains that Nika's legend is known across the world, and they all share one thing in common. Nika always appears with a booming laugh, keeping to a rhythmic beat. Saul then starts dancing, singing the drums of liberation, while Chopper doubles over in laughter, watching him. Robin giggles as she finally begins reading the ancient text aloud. Chopper sits beside her, eager to listen. But just as her voice fills the room, the scene shifts back to Frankie. Standing before the murals, Frankie's eyes widened in shock. A chill runs down his spine. He remains frozen, unable to tear his gaze away from the ancient drawings before him. In an epic double spread, the murals and the contents of the Harley are fully revealed. At the center of the mural stands the colossal treasure tree atom, dividing the artwork into 2 distinct sections. At its peak, a monstrous winged creature breathes flames, locked in battle with the fearsome serpent of fire. On the right side of the mural lies an industrialized city where the enormous serpent looms. From within the city, slaves are shown offering fragmented stars, passing them toward a massive ark. Inside the ark is a figure with angelic wings, accompanied by various creatures and animals. A bolt of lightning strikes the ark, passing through the sea and into the sacred tree. The entire mural is engulfed in flames, yet above it, the stars and the moon remain. The left side of the mural depicts the true war. A figure resembling both Joy Boy and Nika leads an army against a massive winged demon grasping the sun in its hands. A vast fleet fights alongside the demon, clashing with countless opponents. Nika's side consists of warriors from across the world. Elbaf giants, a pure-blooded Elbaf warrior, Wano samurai, Lunarians soaring through the sky, minks, a mermaid princess commanding sea creatures, a massive whale resembling Laboon, a giant iron robot resembling Imith, and a grand fleet of human ships, one of which bears the flag of Arabasta. The first world tells of a cataclysmic event in which the earth is engulfed in endless flames. As humanity and enslaved beings whisper desperate prayers, the sun god appears. But the god of the land, enraged, joins forces with the Serpent of Fire, plunging the world into ruin. In the end, they will never meet again. The second world recounts a similar tale. The god of the forest unleashes demons while the sun god sows the seeds of war. Those marked by the crescent moon and the full moon dreamed, yet humanity slays the sun god and proclaims itself as a god. Their arrogance incurs the wrath of the sea god, and once again, they will not meet again. Now the third world unfolds a different fate. Chaos reigns and an era of void shrouds the land. Yet despite time's passage, the memory of the promised day endures. A shadow looms as the voice of all things echoes across the world. Once more, the sun god shall rise, dancing, laughing, and leading the world towards its final act. The sun is reborn, a new dawn will break. This time, they will surely meet again. And standing before it all, Frankie can do nothing but stare. The myth of the world unfolds before his eyes. Yet another peak lore chapter. When the god of the land and the Serpent of Fire cast the world into ruin, the Red Line was formed. The supercontinent shattered into multiple continents, and all blue split into 4 oceans, destined never to meet again. When the god of the forest unleashed demons through the devil fruits, and the warriors who defeated the sun god declared themselves gods, the sea god unleashed their wrath. This caused a massive flood that sank much of the world and left devil fruit users with a permanent curse. If we go back to chapter 1069 of the manga, Vegapunk reveals the true origins of devil fruits. He explains that these fruits embody people's wishes for their own evolution. But because this kind of evolution is unnatural, the sea god grew to despise devil fruit users and cursed them by taking away their ability to swim. And now, the Third World lore ties it all together. It talks about the will of D, the voice of all things, the Void Century, and Luffy's destiny to complete the Sun God cycle and guide the world to its ultimate chapter. There's so much to talk about and discuss, so let's continue this in the comment section down below. As always, press like if you enjoyed the video, and if you don't want to miss out on future One Piece chapters like this one, definitely subscribe and hit that bell icon. If you missed any old chapters, just click on the videos on the screen to catch up. There won't be a break next week, so I'll see you in the next video. Till then, thank you for watching, and have a great day, Nakama.